This is the LC Arrowhead Marble Falls #1 limited partnership. This limited partnership is a 3-well program, and we are re-entering the vertical section of Barnett Shale wells, and we're going to recomplete in the Marble Falls. The Marble Falls is a very interesting play in that it's one of the most recent formations to be unlocked by fracking technology. And all the way through, as we've been developing fields, throughout Texas, and we've learned a lot, in North Dakota, we've learned a lot of ways to frack wells. And then over the last 5 years, the Marble Falls formation has actually quintupled as far as how much oil and gas they expect to get out of each vertical Marble Falls well. And that's because now they're doing staged fracking, and it just works a lot better. And so it got me interested because I look for partnerships or things that I can put into partnerships, assets like this that can make my investors money, and that's how I came into this Marble Falls, looking for the Marble Falls. And so in looking for the Marble Falls, it's difficult to get leases to drill Marble Falls wells because so much of the acreage is held by production because of the Barnett Shale. And so that led me to, I met a company called Bend Arch out of Fort Worth, and they acquired 77,000 acres from EOG in 2015. The acreage that they acquired had a bunch of Barnett Shale wells on it. And those Barnett Shale wells have vertical sections that are running right through Marble Falls. And so when I approached Bend Arch, that was my interest, is in the Marble Falls. And so they started showing me the wells that they have. And so we started looking through, and we've identified some wells that look like they have Marble Falls present on the log, and it's undisturbed. And so what you're looking for really are wells that are Barnett Shale wells that have made a lot of gas, but very little oil, because they started finding Barnett Shale wells that have made a lot of oil, but they suspect it was from fracking into the Marble Falls. And so in this partnership, we selected 3 wells that have the logs correlated to, and you can see that these are wells that made a lot of gas and not a lot of oil. And so in the partnership overview, we actually show you the logs for the wells and the production amounts that have come. But that's the essence of this partnership. And so the operator is very confident, and he believes that he can establish production on these wells anywhere from 10 to 20 barrels of oil per day and 2 to 500 MCF of gas per day. And so the AAPG, the American Association of Petroleum Geologists, they're calling for 100,000 barrels of oil equivalent per well. And some of the estimates even go up to 135,000 barrels of oil equivalent. Well, if we use just 45,000 barrels of oil equivalent, and we say we get 30,000 barrels of oil per well and a half a BCF of gas per well, that would be enough to make our economics to where we could potentially get 262% ROI on the partnership if we had 3 wells that produced 20 barrels of oil a day at 500 MCF of gas per day, and the total cum on the well was 25,000 barrels of oil and 500,000 MCF of gas. That could generate, on a $270,000 investment, $18,000, almost $19,000 a month. Okay, and so that's what the operator believes he can do. And so what I did is I went in and I started looking at wells in the immediate area using the Closology map below. And so the Closology map is going to show me 5-mile radiuses of all the wells that have been produced in the area. And so what I did is I ran a filter down to just Marble Falls wells, and I identified 3 actual wells that were drilled in 2014, 2015, and they're producing today. But you can see these wells, I mean, the oil and gas is definitely there in the Marble Falls. This is the Walter Ranch well. It's made so far 17,000 barrels of oil and 243,000 MCF of gas, drilled in February of 15. Here's another one that made 17,000 barrels and 256,000 MCF of gas. And here's another one that made 36,000 barrels of oil and 192,000 MCF of gas. All these wells are drilled 2014 forward. But say, for example, you drilled a well like that. This well that you're looking at made 34,000 barrels of oil in the first 12 months and 76,000 MCF of gas. 34,000 barrels of oil in the first 12 months. That could potentially double your money on this investment. And so if you want to look closer at the cash flow of the wells that you're comparing to, I look at the simulator, and this breaks it down for me in a graphic version. But this well made 46 barrels of oil a day for the first 12 months. The next one made 33 barrels of oil, and the next one was 96. So the cumes and the daily production expectation is definitely there from what the operator believes he can do. And it makes for a really compelling investment. And the reason that it works like this is you're buying real Marble Falls wells at half the cost when you break down the prices, terms, and the taxes. And so if you did add the tax benefit to it, which is huge, for doing partnerships like this, the potential ROI on these three wells, the wells that you're comparing to, could be upwards of 368%. And that's what the tools below, that's what they do. They give you the ability to compare wells, look at different production scenarios, and get a good idea of what to expect if you drill a successful Marble Falls well in this partnership. And so after you've looked at everything, it comes down to subscribing and trying to make it easy. And so at the top of the screen, you'll see a button that says subscribe now. That is how you fill out the subscription document if you've done these deals before. If you haven't done these deals before, I'm always available to talk to people and let you know what I think about the play and also help you subscribe. But I am where the buck stops. I'm investing in this Marble Falls deal because I believe it's a great place to put money right now. And where we can pull oil and gas out of the ground and get big tax benefits, that's the name of the game. And so I hope you like this partnership. There's a lot of information on the page, so feel free to browse through everything. You're not going to be asked for any personal or financial information. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm here. My name is Thomas Tapia, and I'm the president of Laconia Capital.